Hello, warehouse managers and owners. Welcome to Maximum Pest Control Services, your ultimate solution to commercial pest control. Question: are you seeing mice at your warehouse place? Don't wait for the first sighting to make the call. Most warehouse managers call a pest control company after they find droppings. By that time, the infestation has already taken hold, the cleanup becomes more complex, and the expenses escalate. The managers who avoid that situation entirely are the ones who set up a prevention program before there's anything to react to. That's exactly where Maximum Pest Control Services comes in. Rather than showing up when things are already bad, they work with warehouse operators in Oakville, Burlington, Hamilton, Milton, and Mississauga to build a preventive program that keeps rodents out from the start. Routine perimeter inspections, properly placed monitoring stations, licensed technicians using only registered products, and the full service documentation your auditor or insurance provider will ask for. A monthly program starting at $150, which costs less than replacing one pallet of chewed inventory. It costs far less than corrective action order, and it costs nothing compared to the liability of a rodent finding during a customer audit. If your facility doesn't currently have a documented pest management plan in place, that gap is worth addressing today, not after the next inspection. Contact Maximum Pest Control Services at 905-582-5502 to schedule a commercial facility assessment. No pressure, no contract required for the initial visit, just a clear picture of where your warehouse stands and what it would take to keep it rodent-free. Now let's get started with the most frequently asked questions by warehouse owners and managers. Question 1: does one mouse in a warehouse always mean there are more? Not always, but the odds are not in your favor. Mice are friendly social animals and rarely travel alone. If you spot one during daylight hours, that's especially significant, because mice are nocturnal by nature and usually only come out during the day when the population is large enough that competition for food pushes them into riskier territory. A single sighting at night could still be a lone straggler that came in on a delivery. Either way, treat it as a confirmed problem and set traps immediately rather than waiting to see if more appear. Question 2: how fast can a mouse infestation grow in a warehouse? Faster than most people expect. A female mouse can produce 5 to 10 litters per year, with 4 to 6 pups per litter. Those pups reach sexual maturity at around 6 weeks old. In a large warehouse with plenty of food and undisturbed nesting areas, a pair of mice can theoretically become dozens within a few months. This is why the first sighting matters so much. A 2-week delay in responding is not a minor setback, and it's the difference between a containable problem and a serious infestation. Question 3: what happens if a health inspector finds mouse evidence in my warehouse? It depends on the type of facility and the severity of what they find. For food storage and distribution warehouses regulated, a rodent finding during an inspection can trigger a warning letter, a mandatory corrective action plan, or, in serious cases, a temporary shutdown order. For non-food warehouses, the consequences are usually tied to provincial health and safety codes, but failing an inspection still creates liability, especially if a customer or insurer learns about it. The most important thing is having documentation that you identified the issue and took prompt, documented action. Question 4: would it be advisable to hire a pest control company, or can we manage it ourselves? For a small early-stage problem with a few traps triggered in one area and no visible nesting, in-house management with snap traps and a proper cleanup is often enough. Once you have droppings in multiple zones, evidence of nesting, or any indication of gnawed wiring, you're better off calling a licensed pest control operator. Maximum Pest Control Services 905-582-5502 specializes in commercial warehouse programs serving Oakville, Burlington, Hamilton, Milton, and Mississauga, and can assess whether you need a one-time treatment or an ongoing IPM contract. They have access to rodenticide formulations and monitoring equipment that isn't available in retail stores, and they can provide the signed service records that food safety audits and some insurance policies require. A monthly IPM contract with a licensed commercial pest company typically runs between $150 and $249, far less than the cost of a single contaminated product recall. Question 5: can mice damage products that aren't food? Yes, significantly. Mice don't only target food packaging. They chew through cardboard, foam insulation inside electronics, rubber wiring insulation, plastic film, and even thin metal foil. In automotive parts warehouses and electronics distribution centers, rodent damage to product packaging or components can result in customer returns and warranty claims where the root cause isn't immediately obvious. Chewed wiring inside racking systems or machinery is also a documented fire risk. Any warehouse storing goods in cardboard, plastic, or foam has something worth protecting. Finally, if you have any mice or pest problems at your warehouse, contact the insured and bonded Maximum team by calling 905-582-5502. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as we share tips and hacks on how to get rid of pest problems for both commercial and residential accounts.